everyone! In this video, you'll learn Wilson Daily Prep's top 5 tips for the science section of the ACT. These tips will save you time and make tackling the science section easier. Let's learn our first tip: mark it up. The science section is largely composed of charts and graphs, and is the last section of the test. Your eyes will be tired. To avoid making simple mistakes, draw lines across graphs and circle numbers in charts to make sure you are looking at the right pieces of data. You should also draw arrows to indicate whether numbers are increasing or decreasing. Not only will this save time while answering the questions, but it will also make the data easier to understand by helping you spot patterns and relationships. Tip number 2. Do passages in order of difficulty. Even though there are 6 to 7 passages in the science section, there are only 4 types of passages: data, fighting scientists, experimental, and a hybrid passage, which takes features from the other types of passages and combines them together. Each passage employs different strategies and assesses slightly different skills. For example, the fighting scientist passage tends to be more reading intensive, while the data passages test your ability to read and understand charts and graphs. Do you pass exams to learn where your strengths and weaknesses lie? Perhaps you find yourself excelling on the fighting scientist passages, or maybe you prefer the experimental passages. On exam day, try flipping through the section and completing your best type of passage first, in order to save time and build confidence. You can also try to first complete passages that are on a topic you are familiar with. If you notice a passage about chemical reactions, and you happen to be taking chemistry in school, start there. Chances are this passage will feel familiar. Yes, technically the passages are supposed to get harder as you go through the section, but that doesn't mean everybody will find the last passage the most difficult. Know yourself and complete the section in the manner that suits your personal strengths. Tip number 3. Label your questions. This is something to practice on fighting scientists and experimental passages. If you are familiar with these types of passages, you'll notice that certain information is labeled as Student 1, Student 2, or Experiment 1, Experiment 2. When you see this, go to the questions, skim them quickly, and label them with a number indicating to which scientist or experiment they are referring. By doing this, you can focus on one scientist or experiment at a time, and jump directly to the questions that relate to the part of the passage you just finished reading. On data passages, you can circle the figure or chart mentioned so you know where to look to answer the question. Tip number 4. Underline the words in italic. Typically, while completing the science section, we read less than what is provided for us in order to save time. However, no matter how much you read, you always should be underlining the italicized words. The italicized words are usually followed by an important definition or abbreviation that may be necessary to understand in order to answer some of the questions. By underlining these words, you will make it easier to quickly locate this vital information. If you ever find yourself going back to the reading in order to answer a question, make sure to start with the words you've underlined. Tip number 5. Trust your own knowledge. The ACT will never provide you with bad science. Everything in the science section is scientifically accurate. This means that you can and should use your prior knowledge to help you answer the questions. If you know the answer to a question because you learned it in science class, or you just happen to know a lot about the topic of the passage, trust your gut and answer the question. Don't panic. So that's it. The top 5 tips for the science section. If you learn these, then your score will go up. Remember to check out our channel for more helpful tips and how-to videos. Finally, be sure to go to www.wilsondailyprep.com for more online test prep, including daily SAT and ACT practice questions. Daily practice is the key to testing success.